Today was a really good day. I was getting ready to make this video. Some of you requested a few comments from me on the American Custom Gunmakers Guild members, and I used to have custom guns made for about 15 years. You know, you buy all the factory stuff, and then you buy the scarce factory stuff and antiques and so forth, and you buy rape beads and double rifles, and then eventually you decide your tastes are so specific, kind of like with wine, I suppose, that you deserve and should order custom guns. So I retain different gun makers. Right off the top of my head, Ralph Martini comes to mind, Steve Heilman. What I should do is just write out the names and send you a link to the American Custom Gunmakers Guild. And they make extraordinary rifles. Naturally, you can specify every feature of the rifle, every dimension can be to your liking. The only thing I thought I should mention is I bought all the custom rifles. I didn't have that many, maybe a dozen, not including the Hagens. I bought those because I was involved with the Falling Block double rifle project. And a single shot rifle like the Hagen is a little bit different than an interpretation of a custom rifle on a bolt action, and if you get what I mean. So I had a few more Hagens. The others I eventually sold, which sounds like a funny thing to do, but I enjoyed the building process. I suppose it was a little bit like hunting. After the game is down, you're kind of a little bit cooler than during the pursuit of the game or the custom rifle or whatever it is you're after. And I thought, well, I'll let somebody else enjoy these rifles, but it took a long time to sell them, and I guess that's why I'm mentioning this to you. If you do order a custom rifle, you pay a lot of money for them, and they're very difficult to sell because the people that can afford them are usually quite fickle and have their own specific ideas about what a custom rifle should be like. So I thought I'd mention that too to those of you that asked me about them. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you'll find a better metalsmith on earth than Steve Heilman. There are others that come to mind, Mark Silver, and I'll send you a few more names that you can look up. Some of them have retired, I noticed. In any event, this is a custom rifle too. It's not the kind of custom rifle that I'm referring to, which usually has Turkish walnut. But I thought, here's an example of a custom rifle that somebody probably spent a lot of money on in the 50s or 60s, I'm not sure. It's based on a Springfield action, and I have to say it's a really fine rifle and exceptionally accurate. The name of the gunmaker is on the barrel, but it's too small to read. It's William Welker of Seattle. I looked him up, I couldn't find him, but he did everything perfectly. The rifle couldn't have been better made considering what he was after. So we've got the heavy duty laminate stock, magnificent trigger, very clean break on the trigger, 257 Ackley improved, and he obviously spent a lot of time on the action itself. It's very smooth, and it's still got the military block. Again, it's hard for me to convey. Trigger's probably 3 pounds. Just an exceptional piece of work. And I thought what I should do is show you what this originated from. So these days, the original Springfield 03, this is a Remington. It's almost flat new. It's very unusual to find a rifle in this condition, but I was lucky, and someone called me, and someone had this in a closet for the past, whatever, 80 years. Maybe not that long. Anyway, the bore is also flat new. It's just remarkable. Serial number is in the good range. You could look that up if you like. There's a theory that some of them were no good, and there are a lot of people that firmly believe that the early serial numbers weren't properly heat treated. I've owned a few of them, some custom rifles too, and as usual, I must have good luck. I've never had any problem with any Springfield. They've all been fine. The original ones, the double heat treated ones, and the so-called properly heat treated ones, which this would be one of. And there are collectors that like the Remington and the various other makers. Anyway, I keep this one just because I don't expect to find one in this condition. So William Welker, the custom gun maker, would have started with something like this, or hopefully somebody already modified a Springfield and then he turned around and made this rifle. It's an entirely different concept, obviously not military. It's got the wide forend, you can see, for sandbags, bench rest use. Exceptionally accurate, and 257 Ackley Improved is a nice cartridge because you can still use 257 Roberts ammunition, as you probably know. I'll flip it around so you can see the cheek piece. It's got that dramatic cheek piece which was popular for a while. Some people still like them. It's just as easy to make the butt plate higher and have a straight comb. You'll see more of that these days than you will a Monte Carlo that's so severe. And here's that severe Monte Carlo, so you could bring this up to here and go across. But do I like the rifle? It's fantastic, and again, somebody spent a lot of money on this, and I hardly spent any money at all. It's embarrassing how these things can change hands for so little. If he had kept the original Springfield, military configuration would be worth a lot more. He did a great job on the bolt handle. Actually, he did a great job on the entire custom work. And when you're looking at custom rifles or any rebarreling project, I learned this from the European gun makers. You can look down the barrel with a light shining on it, and if you've got a really excellent gun maker, you'll see no ripples. They keep going over and over the exterior surface of the barrel until it's just a mirror. It looks like factory made, and this is one of those. So I thought that's worth sharing with you. If you do decide one day to get a custom rifle, also try to get one. Well, you could get a used one. A lot of them are showing up. Hallowell & Co. I know them. They seem to have some custom rifles from estates and that kind of thing at probably 50 cents on the dollar compared to what they cost to make. And those values can return. It depends on how things go. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you, just amazing good fortune. I don't know if you've ever heard of Al Bison or Al Bison. He was a gun maker, I think in Seattle, and mainly known for his work for Jack O'Connor. This is probably one of the books that I would guess most of you would know. If you don't have it, it's a good idea to buy it and read it. And not sure if I ever met Jack O'Connor, I don't think so. Anyway, Jack O'Connor had some rifles customized or custom made and custom stocks by Al Bison. I always wanted to own one, but where do you get an Al Bison stock? They're all like sky high in price because of Jack O'Connor. And then a while ago, maybe a couple of years, I started hearing about a Model 54 by Al Bison. And anyway, good news is I finally got that Model 54. I'll show it to you. It's not in perfect shape, and it's got a weird scope on it, and the people that owned it didn't realize what it was. That's often the case. But once it's cleaned up a bit, I'll definitely make a video, and you can, one can see the meticulous workmanship that Al was able to do, patient enough to do, and that of course resulted in Jack O'Connor admiring his work so much. And those rifles change hands for thousands and thousands of dollars. If you have any questions about custom rifles, I'm forgetting some of the makers. I think I mentioned Mark Silver, but Dwayne Weeb, and you get to know them all if you go to the Safari Club International show or the American Custom Gunmakers Guild and Engravers Guild shows. I was never that big on engraving, but a lot of people are. And there were a couple of shows in Europe as well. They like engraving more over there, I think. But it's popular, you know, on a kind of individual basis. Anyway, that's really a kind of a disjointed video, but a few, I think, good themes. And mainly that caution, just because I lost so much money on custom guns. But, you know, you're not supposed to be in this for making money. It's more like buying wine, and there you drink the wine and you don't have anything. So guns are a little better. You get something back in the end. But would I do most of the buys over again? Probably not. I would buy the Hagens because they're like Rigby's. They have kind of a pedigree. If you want something super fine, get a Holland and Holland or a Rigby. If you like shotguns, get a Boss or a Wesley Richards, Droplock, you know, all those legendary names. I had all those too. Sold most of them. Definitely worth owning and studying, as I did. And but I kind of like this type of thing that comes along, and the coincidental Al Bison rifle, which I'll show you. That's about it for today. I just wanted to say I really appreciate you all being here on Patreon. As you know, it's kind of a tough time for gun channels because you spend hours and, you know, take out your guns, collection, talk, practice, and so on. And they demonetized us. I guess they don't like us for now, but maybe that'll change. In the meantime, we survive kind of on Patreon. So thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.